to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. Thanks to every single person that has subscribed to the channel. Thanks to everyone that supports us on Patreon. We appreciate, love you so much. A special shout out today to my editor, Vince, just for always just keeping me on track, beloveds. I don't really like to share his information so that he doesn't, become a target of some of the spiritual warfare we're facing. And speaking of spiritual warfare, I was looking at the comments in the video I released earlier called World War III. Please go ahead and watch it. And I saw a lot of people saying, it's important that we remain vigilant because the war is not over. There's still a lot of, there's still a final battle. And I wanted to come and confirm that, yes, the final battle is up ahead. But the most important thing is spiritually we're out, energetically we're out. And when I was meditating on this, I felt like, yes, the final battle is up ahead, but we won't even be on the battlefield. Because, as I say, beloveds, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. The minute you spiritually move in a different direction, your human experience changes. And I think a lot of us remained in highly toxic situations, highly combative situations, because we didn't recognize, the nature of the beast. We didn't recognize the enemies in our circle. And for me, the greatest weapon that has been at my disposal against the enemies of my soul has been my own awareness. Like the minute I become aware that you are an enemy, everything else takes care of itself. And that's why I really believe, beloveds, that we won't even be on the battlefield of our final battle. It's like we've been raptured. Maybe that's what they meant. Like we've been spiritually taken out of it and moved. We've jumped timelines, beloveds. We've jumped into a new reality. And a lot of people also emailed me and said they're feeling this newness. They're feeling the change. And the change is here. Because too many people are aware of what's going on. And so, the smoke and mirrors cannot stand. And that's where now it becomes, you have to be mentally responsible. You have to be responsible and mindful of the thoughts that you're entertaining, beloveds. Because if you still think the enemy of your soul is, if you still have these ideas that they've got power in your life in any way, or they're still manipulating you in any way, then that will be like you running back to a battlefield that the Most High Creator has removed you from. You have a purpose, you have a mission. And that alone is the most critical thing right now, beloveds. And so it's important for us to really start healing, to start the recovery process, to focus on recovering from what we went through so that we demand that the universe recognize that we are out of that situation and the universe will handle it. But there are certain things that you have to do, beloveds. For me, I've actually been led to be in hermit mode. I'm literally at an undisclosed location, you know what I mean? Living my best life. So I'm not answering the phone calls of anyone who's toxic. I'm not interacting with that. And even how I'm thinking of the past warfare that I went through in 2021 and before that, I'm thinking more of just connecting the dots for myself so that I can close that book, because that book is over. The conclusion has been written. I am victorious. And so are you, beloveds. But you have to maintain that victory. And so I think it's so important in this season to remain busy. You know, there's so much to do. Clean up your life, you know, organize yourself, stay busy with work, put all your energy into your calling. There's so much, and the healing process, beloveds. And also make it second nature now. Like, what is your spiritual, you know, what got you through this, and how can you now create your own spiritual fellowship with your spiritual team, with the Most High? These are the things. So there's so much that we can be doing. Setting up your altar for the very first time. Researching any kind of, you know, black holes you may have in your mind to see what is really true. But the worst is over, beloveds. The final battle is up ahead, but we won't even be on the battlefield. Stay prayed up, stay uplifted, stay focused on next. Tuko pamoja. Wake up, wake up.
Wake up, wake up.
Wake up, wake up.
Wake up, wake up.
Wake up. But those are definitely stories. But those are definitely stories. But those are definitely stories. But those are definitely stories for other days.
Wake up, Africa.
Due to public demand, beloveds, we really want to start this new stories for other days. Now, we were thinking of whether we should, have an entire separate channel for it. But for now, we'll just put it on this channel. So definitely, beloveds, you know, stories for other days has been something that we've been saying for so long. And so many of you have requested that we start this segment. So we're definitely, finally, it's happening. And we'd really appreciate it if you could share what kind of topics you would like us to cover first. We really want this to be family driven, beloveds. We really want you guys to be the ones, you know, where we're covering the most pertinent information to you that is relevant to you. So you can also email me if you don't want to comment about it, Dr. Mumbi at drmumbishow.com, where, you know, if there's any topics, and we're going to basically be starting that. Now, another thing that we're going to be starting is going live. It's something that we've been feeling so urged to do, but I'm a very reserved person, even though it may not seem it. And, you know, being live, beloveds, it does take a lot of energy just because of all the different dynamics. But I definitely believe it will do more good than quote unquote harm. So we will definitely be starting the Dr. Mumbi live very, very soon, and we'll be letting you know when that goes live. So make sure you subscribe, family. Make sure you subscribe. Let us know what you'd like to see on Stories for Other Days, and thank you for your continuous support. And I want to take this opportunity to give a special thank you to everyone that has kept us in their prayers, that has been called by the Most High to pray for us throughout the years, beloveds, because, you know, ever since day one, as I've always said, we're not here for the likes, we're here for the revolution. And the message is, it's not so much about transferring a message to another person. That is very powerful, but it has always been about throwing those darts into the enemy's camp and, you know, weakening the enemy, because the enemy, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And so it's all about, you know, the consciousness that they try and manipulate, the way they try and manipulate things. And so if you can just create cracks to their said philosophies and all that, that helps the great spiritual war that we're on in a massive, massive way. But so many of you have emailed me, have called me. Special shout out to my staff as well, both on my farm and, you know, who work for me behind the scenes, who have been praying for me ceaselessly, especially in 2021. I appreciate, love you so much, beloveds. It has worked as a serious shield of protection, which brings me to the last, you know, the third thing that we're going to be adding, which is a story time. We're going to start doing story times and just sharing a bit of our story, you know, as we wind down that book, as we wind down that life. It's like we need closure, beloveds. We need to write the conclusion. And what I've found in sharing things about toxic families and how many of us were spiritually married to our parents at a young age, or we were sold out, or, you know, all those things. I've noticed that there were so many similarities in our stories, and there is so much power when someone shares their story, because you realize, you know, there's so many parallels, because we're all fighting the same principalities and the same spirits. So when I share my story, which is a very vulnerable thing to do, I really hope that it will, you know, enrich and enliven and kind of help you to understand and understand some of the things that you went through in your own life, as we as we release the past, because beloveds, there's a bright new future waiting for us.
Wake up, Africa!